Shine in my cab, grab up the lane, chop a fin. Run up them digits. I run up the money. I'm getting fat. I'm stacking up chips. I'm stacking up Pringles. Niggas they mad, cause I'm getting cash. My niggas get glad. Make a nigga run like Forrest Gump. Turn me up, nigga I'm crumps. Smoking on kush. I only smoke just to turn me up. Nigga I'm live. Like certified, I'm going live. Nigga be live. I turned up nigga, don't got no guy.
Alrighty y'all, what's up? It's your boy. I'm back with another YouTube video. Got a new banger for you guys today. This was a typical day. I had just got out of school and I was off for work. At the time, I think I was working at Kmart. If you don't know what that is, look that up. Nothing was out of the norm. This was a regular old day. Came home, went to sleep. They used to work the dog snot out of me when I used to work there. Like, they showed no mercy for anybody that was in school trying to still have a job and go to school. Like, they showed no mercy. They was like, they didn't care. I didn't have anything to do at the time, and at the time my mom was working 2 jobs. She was working at this school during the day, and at night she had another job. So she'll come home and go to sleep so she can get some rest, so she'll be rested, so she can get back up and then get ready to go to work. So boom, cool. Nothing out of the ordinary about that. Everything's cool, everything copacetic, everything's straight. Because this is like our usual routine that we usually do. So I already knew like what was gonna happen. Like, she was gonna go to sleep. Now, mind you, we stayed in an apartment at the time, and this was like you had the apartment complex, and then you had like this shopping center beside it, plus like a car lot. So it wasn't no houses or anything like that over there. So keep up with it. It was like a good mixture of people over there. You know, when I say mixture, I mean like you had all different races over there. So it was like a good mixture of people. And we stayed upstairs, which I hated with a passion. I could not stand that for the life of me. There was like 2 things that stood out to me like the most about that apartment that we used to have. Like, the walls was so thin, like you could hear the people next door and you could hear the people under you. If they were having an argument, you could hear them, like literally hear them. And you upstairs, you shouldn't hear anything. Or you could hear somebody walking across the floor from across the hall. Like, the walls were that thin. And we had this neighbor that used to stay under us. Like, that was the stankiest nigga of all. I don't know what he used to cook or what he used to eat. It was like, regardless, like if he's cooking something, it was funky. And then once he cooks it and then eat it, he gotta go to the bathroom. Like, it's just whatever was coming out of him, like he needed to go to the doctor for how bad he used to have our apartment smelling. Like, we used to literally have to light candles every single day because like he was like a whole hurricane. He was a whole tsunami. Boo-boo tsunami. Like, I could not stand him with Pat. Like, he was just doing way too much for me. He was just doing way too much for me. I was like, dude, you got you got something internally like wrong with you? Like, is it sewage or something coming out of you? Like, bro, like you need to go get checked at this point, because it's like, it's something that ain't right. Like, that's not normal. Like, you're not only dying, you're killing us as well. Then when that neighbor wasn't funking up everything, we had this other neighbor that used to stay, he stayed downstairs, like, under us. He stayed downstairs on the left side. He stayed downstairs on the left side of us. So what he would do is, he was weird, like really weird. So he would wait till he hears somebody coming out of the apartment or going up the steps to the apartment, and he would just snatch his door open and just literally stand there and look at you. Then after you done standing there looking at you, now he want to talk. Now once you get past all that, after my mama to go to work, so she get ready to go. We had one of those apartments where they had an extra lock on the door, like a chain lock. You got a regular traditional lock, and then you got the chain lock. So she'll go to work, she'll tell me lock the door, but take the chain off when she's about to come home. When she's about to get off, she wants me to take the chain off so I can, let her get in. And so it's been a couple of times that I thought I took the chain off, but I ended up falling asleep and I locked her out. And you kind of know how that went. So I had a bad habit of like forgetting to do that sometimes. So she left, I made me something to eat, and then I ended up getting sleepy and I fell asleep. Now the bad thing about falling asleep during halfway during the day, for me, is like I end up waking up at some point in time, and I'm not going to be able to go back to sleep. So I'm going to be up all night because I already went to sleep during the day. So I had to force myself to go back to sleep so I could end up sleeping through the rest of the night. I woke up around 6 and I had to force myself to go back to sleep, and that's when things went to shit. I get woken up by my phone like ringing like constantly off the hook, and I'm like, okay, I jumped up and I'm like, oh my god, did I lock her out again? Like, dang, I done messed up and done it again. So I'm thinking like she's trying to get in, so I run to the front room, grab my phone, run to the front room, I answer the phone, and I'm like, hello, and she ain't saying nothing, she just calling my name. So I run to the front room, I look at the door, to see if I locked it. And of course I didn't. So, I'm like, okay, what's she calling me for? What could she possibly be calling me for now? We got the extra chain because sometimes I be a little paranoid. I be a little paranoid when I be at home by myself. You be watching all the movies. So I was like, nah, I ain't going for it. So I always end up locking that lock. So I'm on the phone with her while I'm like, okay, why you calling me? She like, I can't get in. And I'm like, okay, what you mean? Like, what you mean you can't get in? Like, you ain't got your key or something? Like, did you leave your keys at home? Or the keys in the van? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, what you talking about? Like, why you acting like you discombobulated? And she like, open the door. Like, it's a black blob. Like, it's a black monster outside. And I'm like,
what? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
It's too late at night to be sitting up here playing. Like, bro, like she can't get in the door because it's right there at the door. And I'm like, we had a peephole, so I'm looking through the peephole. Like, I'm like, the peephole only go so far. Like, it's not gonna let you see like what you trying to see. So I'm like, okay, at this point now I'm scared too, cause like if you telling me you can't get in, what am I supposed to do? So I'm like, okay. So now I'm obligated to open the door to try to find out what you talking about. So now I'm scared because I'm trying to figure out, what is it? So I'm standing there holding the door and I'm thinking all kinds of stuff, and then on top of it, she got to be on something. Like, she got to be crazy at this point. So y'all, I open that door, and when I get that goddamn door open, you ain't gonna believe what was outside. You would have thought I saw the Crypt Keeper. And I slammed that door so hard, I was just holding. Like, my heart was coming out my chest, like pumping like how Tom was. I'm standing there trying to think, like, I just caught a glimpse of it, but I didn't like really just look at it. I'm like, is it really a monster? Like, is it a monster? And like, what are we gonna do? What am I gonna do? Cause it's right here, it's closer to her. It's closer to me than it is her. Then I'm like, the little glimpse I caught of her when I was trying to close the door. She at the bottom of the steps looking like a sad kid that can't get up the steps. I cracked the door a little bit to try to like really get a full good look. I got one good eye out the door before that black blob started to move. And when I tell you that thing moved and it unfolded and the neck came out and it just looked at me, it gave me the longest, dirtiest look ever. And the more it moved, the bigger my eyes got. And I said, oh my god, it's a rooster. It's that rooster we be hearing in the morning. And I was like, I was wondering where all that barking be coming from, all that screaming be coming from in the morning, and come to find out he is sitting right here, sitting his ass right here on the railing of our apartment. And when I say this, like, it was so many other apartments for him to go to, but he chose to sit up here on this one, this one for some reason. So I have like 1,000,001 questions going through my mind. Like, okay, I'm trying to figure out, how did he get up here? First of all, so So you trying to tell me roosters walk up steps now? It's like 40 steps, and he walked them. Like, do roosters fly? It's no possible way he could have got up that many steps on his own. Then I'm like, okay, he gonna make the rail in his new home. Like, I'm not finna be going through this with you every day, trying to walk up the steps and then you act a fool. No. So like I'm saying, I got a million and one questions going through my mind about how this big black motherfucker got even got right here. And it's going on like 12 o'clock at this point. She still ain't got in the house. And I'm like, okay, I'm freaking out because I'm trying to figure out what am I going to do if, it start acting a fool if I decide to go out the door. And she texting me, we texting each other back and forth, and she tells me get his attention so she can run up the steps and run in. I'm like, okay, if you run in real quick, you go slam the door, and then I'm gonna be outside fighting for my life with this bird. I wasn't having it. It just wasn't gonna go down like that. You sending the wrong one out for this mission. I can't do this. You want me to get this bird's attention so you can come up the steps. It's already 40 steps for you to come up, and you want me to distract this bird who already losing his mind because I'm coming out the door, and I'm not even all the way full body out the door. Explain that to me. It wasn't gonna happen. That's a bad plan. Like, that plan ain't gonna work. We can't do that plan. We need to go back to the drawing board, because I can't help you with that one. You outside, not me. I texted her and told her you have to do something, because we got school in the morning and we ain't got our day for you to be outside. And she talking about she was gonna go sleep in the car. I'm like, okay, you gotta do something, because this black motherfucker right here don't seem to be moving no time soon. Y'all, so this is what she decides to do. She decides to put her back facing the bird and walk up the steps. So I opens the door a little bit and caught a glimpse of her face all in the wall, collecting all the cobwebs on the wall, walking up the steps. And I'm like, okay, he see you. He just think, he was already folded back up, so he ain't pop out. She coming on up the steps. She tells me to crack the door so she can just run on in. I said, okay, okay, is that a good plan? Because if she try to attempt to run up in here, that's not gonna be good. So I'm looking around trying to find me something. I went and got one of my belts, and I was like, okay, if when she tried to get past him and he started acting a fool, and like he tried to fight her, and she fall up in here and he come on up in here, he come on up in the apartment number 7, oh, it's going down. Like, he gonna get the worst ass whooping he ever would have thought came to man. Because it just wasn't finna happen. Because I believe, he would try it. Because they said them birds, them roosters would peck you to death. So I was prepared to whop him. I told her we just gonna have to prepare ourselves for the worst, because we gonna take this gonna be one tore up apartment. If he tried, he get up in here, because we all gonna be banging. We gonna be banging tonight. But luckily, y'all, he didn't do that. He just gave her the dirtiest stare ever. Real dirty. So by the time she made it to the top step, right there where he was getting ready. He was gearing up to act a fool. But then she fell on up into the apartment. And so I'm just on the floor dying laughing, because I'm just like, this isn't life right now. Like, this literally can't be true. Like, this is actually happening. And we stayed up all night talking about that and looking at that peephole to see if he still was there. And he stayed the whole night. Like, he spent the night with us. So the next morning comes, and it's like I was telling you, it was a family that lived across the hall from us. And they had like, it was a husband and wife, and they had 2 kids. So they gets them ready for school way earlier than I had to be at school. So I was living in the neighborhood where I had to get dropped off at the bus stop. So I had to be up early. I had to get up at like 5 something, so she could drop me off at the bus stop. But them kids, I think they dropped them off at school. So I was up brushing my teeth. We was up getting ready to go. I was brushing my teeth. She was already in her bathroom. And all of a sudden, all we hear is I heard the door open over there from the apartment, because like I said, the walls is thin. And the next thing I know, we just hear a bunch of screaming, things falling, crashing, people falling in the floor, people yelling, they throwing things, kids is crying, and then the birds screaming. I'm like, okay, what? I'm like, dang, like what's going on? Like, what's going on out here? What happened? So we run to the front door to try to look. We hear the kids running down the steps. Of course, I'm trying to look. I go look out the peephole, and there he go. He attacking them like he going 8. He going 8 on them. He going in, and they ain't backing down, because they throwing stuff and they popping him. He getting hit with purse. Like he getting beat. He getting beat too. By the time we got the door open, Bird was gone. Bird was long gone. It wasn't nothing but feathers left. Time I came home, I would think about that, because it's like, that's just something you just don't forget. And I would always think that he was going to come back for some reason. I just couldn't believe that. And we never did find out who family had a rooster over there or whatnot. But that's it for this story time. I hope y'all did enjoy. Make sure y'all share this video. Peace.
We interrupt this program to bring you...
So just so y'all don't think I'm capping, this is text confirmation right here, where she confirmed what I told y'all. Plus, also, so just a quick little small story time about this. We let our dog out. We let my dog out to use the bathroom, and it was a bunch of commotion back there in the backyard, and he's running around chasing something. We opened the window and looked to see what he's chasing, and he's up here chasing a whole chicken. It's a whole chicken running around like he owned it. Like he is on this chicken running around in the yard, and it just decides to. It gets so tired of getting chased, it decides to jump up on the fence. So now it's just like we can't catch a break from these dang on birds.